Ever imagine achieving a childhood dream?
All right.
Like you work for it your whole life and it actually happens. Now, what if I told you that dream gets tangled up with like a massive historical event?
Definitely not the kind of thing you'd expect.
Right. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. The life of Wei Mok. Talk about a story. From teenage inventor in China to facing, get this, the complexities of Cold War politics.
Yeah. His story is fascinating. It really makes you think about ambition, like what we're really striving for, and the unintended consequences that can come with it.
And how even in the face of all that, the human spirit can be so resilient.
Absolutely.
So Wei Mok's story starts in the 1930s in China. Imagine this, growing up between not one, but two airports. Can you imagine all that noise?
That's like growing up inside of a movie.
Oh,
Talk about inspiration striking early on, right?
seriously, I mean, I can't even imagine two airports. But it's no surprise this sparked a bit of a passion in him, though, right?
Yeah. This wasn't just some passing fascination for him. I mean, at 18 years old, he designed a jet aircraft,
Mm.
a whole aircraft. And he sent that technical design straight to the Chinese Air Force.
Wow. I can't even imagine having that kind of, I don't know, guts at 18. What was the response? Did they, like, take him seriously?
They did. That's the amazing thing. In 1956, China actually test flew a jet that was based on his work. So we're talking about a dream come true, but there's another layer here. This is where things get really interesting.
Okay, so what happened? I mean, this sounds like a happy ending. He designed a plane, they built it. What more could there be?
Well, this all happened during a very specific time in China, the Great Leap Forward.
Ah, okay. That rings a bell, but remind me.
So this is a period of intense societal change,
Mhm.
right? It was like this huge push for rapid industrialization and collectivization.
Right, right.
The idea was to basically transform China overnight.
Ambitious, for sure.
Absolutely. And while in theory, these changes were supposed to be good, to improve things for everyone, they actually ended up causing widespread famine and just massive economic hardship.
Because resources were so stretched trying to do all of this
Oh,
at
no.
once, right?
Yes, exactly. And this is where things get, well, complicated for Wei Mok. Because even though his invention was initially seen as a sign of progress, it ends up getting caught in this whole chaotic situation.
Oh, wow. I see where this is going. So his invention, something he probably saw as purely positive, gets caught up in all of this upheaval.
Right. It's a really good example of how individual aspirations and really even just our best intentions can get so tangled up with these larger forces, like these massive societal shifts that have all these unintended consequences.
And I imagine this experience really changed Wei Mok.
It did. I mean, imagine going from being celebrated for your work to suddenly facing suspicion, even interrogation, during some of the most intense political times.
I mean, this is during the Cold War, right? So tensions were already running really high.
Exactly. Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
He had to find a way to navigate all of that. And the fact that he endured it all and came out on the other side is, well, it's amazing.
It makes you think about what's really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did he process all of this? How did this change how he saw the world?
That's my favorite part. He talked about how these experiences were like looking at Earth from space.
Wow, that's an image.
Right. But he was saying that from that perspective, everything seems so small and interconnected. And it kind of puts things in a different light, like you get a broader view.
Yeah, I get it. It's that thing when you're caught in the middle of something, it feels huge. But then you step back and realize it's all part of something so much bigger.
Exactly. And that's kind of the message he wanted to leave behind. He didn't shy away from the tough stuff, the hardships, the mistakes that were made, the consequences that no one intended. But he wanted his story to serve as a cautionary tale, but also something inspirational.
A reminder that we're all connected and that even our smallest actions can ripple out.
Yeah, and we all have that responsibility, that need to act with awareness, to think about those ripples.
It's a powerful story.
It is.
Wei Mok's story is a reminder that none of us exist in a vacuum. Our lives, our dreams, even our inventions are all part of this massive tapestry of history. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. I think this is one we're all going to be thinking about for a while.